because I can. Oh, isn't that? That's when she should have. That's when Alina. I think she's awful cute. Now, is she yours?
Yes.
Oh, isn't she? And the little one, the little blonde,
the one in the blue shirt, Madison.
Yes.
Is Mary's.
She's Mary's.
Right.
Oh, well, Jim, this is when Helena should have the camera. Oh, I think that.
Maestro.
Oh, I think she's awfully cute.
She'll have that all.
Oh, you missed the camera.
She thinks that's pretty funny.
Hi.
Sister Modesta, that's my boyfriend Michael.
Hi, Michael. Hi. I said, don't miss the camera this time. She got up and she...
They're going out. Bye-bye. For his birthday.
Nice to see you once in a while.
Oh, yes.
I have stopped off at her bed sometimes when we were going out.
Bye, Carol.
Yes. And, I think this is awesome.
See you later, big guy.
Bye,
I think that's awesome. Well, anyway, that's, he was very outgoing, or she was very outgoing, and all these people came. But I can remember this Margaret Coyle. She was supposed to be the most attractive. She brown eyes that just flashed, and high-colored curly hair. But to a baby,
She thinks that's pretty good.
No, we're not.
Church, sounds like.
Yeah.
Church.
Oh, I think that's. I think she's awfully cute. Now, how old is she?
18 months.
18 months.
Just a little one.
Yep. She's a
I think
cutie.
she likes you, too. Giving you big
Oh,
smiles.
well, I think. Yeah, reach for more power. She's going to be a musician.
Well, her great-grandmother played the organ.
Really?
Her great-grandmother, right?
Oh,
Your
well,
grandmother.
look at
My
that.
grandmother.
Look at that.
And
Now,
this-
what part of the country were your family from?
Germany.
Oh, Germany.
Well, my dad's family was from Germany. His mother's family was from Scotland,
Oh, Scotland.
and my mother's family was from Holland.
Uh-huh.
So
Well, you have
We're a mixture.
a mix. That's right.
Well, I think I love to hear about the Scotch people. The Scotch and the Irish have a certain amount in common.
Sure.
Not exclusively so, but there is something. That bottle is there. Now, I would read the book if I were you. Oh, she certainly. No.
Well, your mom must have been
Yeah.
quite an entertainer. She had all those people. Your mother must have been quite an entertainer if she had all those people stopping by all the time.
Well, they did. See, it would be like Thursdays was market day in the nearest town, and most people went to shop there on that day, so they passed our house. Then there were what you call the fairs, where they sold the horses and the sheep and the cattle and all that, and they would pass our way going to these things. Well, if they were out all day, they did their business and maybe had a drink or two with their friends, and then it was nice to stop off on the way home, have a cup of tea, see. So that we did have a number. I'm telling you how there was one cousin, this Margaret Coyle, my mother's side of the Coyles, how she was sparkling. She real brown eyes. Oh, really?
Yeah.
But not to a baby. My first contact was to wake up and see this figure leaning over my cradle. loudly proclaiming, wanting to pick up the baby, but the baby was not going to be picked up. So it took me an awful long time. When she dropped in so frequently, she had a bicycle, she would be passing and she would never go by when they dropped him in to see my mother. And when I ever heard her name, I betook myself to the fields or to the outdoors. But, the country life was beautiful, though. I would not exchange my childhood, not with Queen Elizabeth, not with... there's something tremendous about nature that nothing in artificial life can ever compare with.
I agree.
Now, for us as children, when there wasn't school, to walk out in the fields, and it was as sacred almost as church. Birds were chirping in the trees. You might hear a frog croaking or something. The cows would be standing in the meadow. The lambs would be frisking in the fields. And it was agricultural territory, where they plowed the fields. You could really sit down in a white suit in this black, rich loom. There was nothing. It was just clean. When I hear them talk about the dirt, I say soil. I can't stand them calling the black earth dirt. To me, the dirt is what they sweep up in the street, but this is black, rich, dark soil. And I used to love to walk up and down the field. My father plowed the field, and it was beautifully quiet. There was nothing. You hear the birds out here, this and that. And there weren't many automobiles running, not many on the road, but the animals in the field. And we played with the little lambs. Now, we had sheep. We had a lot of sheep. And, the contact with the things. When I saw a sheep here, I said, no, they're not sheep. They're goats. They're something else. I was down at Glastonbury, which is a monastery, Benedictines, we were making retreat down there. They always said to me, before you go home, be sure and go out. They have a farm. They have animals down, it's an extensive place to walk around. But they said down at the end, they had all those sheep and they had hens, chickens, everything else. So I wandered out and I saw what they call sheep. Now, our sheep stood that high. You could almost sit on their back.
Wow.
White, rich wool. Because they lived outdoors exclusively, winter and summer. And I see these measly things that I wanted to get a spray and wash them. They were, in small areas with straw around for them. No exit out. Ours roamed the fields, acres of land. And they knew enough when the weather got cold. There were areas where they'd be planted, like that wall and that wall, or the wall of a house, was a sheltered area. They knew enough to move to that area when the winds got strong, snow. It didn't go in there. When I saw these, I said, no. Now, they would take off 7 or 8 pounds of wool every single May from the sheep.
This
is
yours.
Yes. And I said, how could you, those dirty things? I had no use for them. I was so disappointed. And they said, but they are sheep. Well, I said, not our kind. Well, I think maybe in some parts of the country where you had mountain areas, you might have had a different, they were a hardy thing groping around and all that. But ours had we're not in what you call scenery area. We were right in the center of the country.
Right.
And
Did you?
The River Shannon, the whole country's only 300 miles long, but the River Shannon is 240. It goes like this.
Wow.
And it has lakes periodically down. And there's another river feeds it over there. But in between, this is the most fertile land in the whole country. They can grow rotation of crops.
What crops did you grow?
Pardon?
Which crops did you grow in your family?
Potatoes were the most. Potatoes, all kinds of cabbages, turnip, which is rutabaga, onions. Tomatoes didn't seem to. They had to put them in hothouse. Some had string beans and peas, but you got every kind of it. Now see, the animals, big heads of cabbage would be that big.
Wow.
And in the wintertime, they had them in the fields. They dug a trench. And when they took them up, piled these big. In the middle of the wintertime, when you needed them, they just opened up this area and they took a hatchet and made 3 or 4 sections and threw them in a big basket, and the animals had real good stuff.
And they'd eat the cabbage. So was the cabbage for the animals or for the people?
Well, you took it when it was new, the nice new thing. But you could let it grow 3 months longer.
I see.
And it got bigger and bigger. And, they had, there's a lot of change now. This, in Europe, they have done something which has kind of spoiled the farming thing. They want to switch them over to doing just something else. And so there's no encouragement to grow. We could sell tons of potatoes every year. We could sell chickens, eggs, butter, enough to really supply you with everything else. Mary Vale told me when she was home last year that she said, when I ever saw them bringing home chicken from the market. She said, now, in my time, there would be about 60 hens, as we call them, laying hens. They laid eggs. Eggs were sold by the score, not by the dozen. 20. So you took a basket of 6, it could be 10 dozen, but it would be 6 score. And you could bring home tea and sugar and everything else with that. She said, now, there's all kinds of, they have to be a certain size. They have to be great. And she said, you don't tell the hen what size.
Right.
We did have, very good quality. We had Rhode Island Reds, which were black Minorcas, white Leghorn, all these varieties of which were great for. And then, we raised all those things. So
did you raise those just on the field, or did you have them in a coop?
Oh no, they were outdoors most of the time. But there was a hen house, racks, the door open for them to go in and climb up at night. They were always whitewashed, lime washed to keep them healthy. And there were slots in the doors so they could hop in and out. So no.
How big was the farm?
Huh?
How big was the farm?
Well, I'm not sure it would be 20 or 25 acres.
That's pretty good.
Well, that wasn't big. That wasn't big, but it was really sufficient. It was really sufficient to raise a family nicely. Well, when I say nicely, some of my brothers worked. My father never worked outside of the home. Never.
Now, you said that he plowed the fields. You remember him plowing the fields?
Yes, he plowed the fields.
Was that before or after he got sick?
Oh, this was afterwards. But he did it leisurely.
I see.
He was a real. Oh, he did beautiful. The government used to put stands in the field, rating it first quality.